All right, guys, this is All the Leads Mastermind call number 24. Today is May 14th, 2015. We got a great turnout today. I think we have a few veterans on here. So let's start with a win. Who's got a win for the week? I know we were talking before the recording came on. A lot of folks have taken action and gotten mail out and going prospecting and seem to be excited about it. So who's listed a home this week?
I'm about to list one. She just hasn't signed it yet, but it's pretty much a done deal.
Okay, cool. And how did that go? Was it off of a letter or a call?
Yeah, it was. I mailed out the letters a week ago, Monday. I waited until Thursday to start calling. I was getting frustrated at first because I had a very high percentage of invalid phone numbers that were disconnected or no longer in service, and halfway through my list, make the call, and the gentleman answers and says, first words out of his mouth were, yes, we got your letter, and my wife was going to call you because you seem like exactly what we're looking for because we live 3 hours away from where the house is that she just inherited. And it just made my day. So I've been helping her out with coordinating the lawn being taken care of and a couple of repairs in the house, and I'm sending her the listing agreement this week, and I just haven't been able to get into the house yet, so that's what the delay has been. So I'm meeting the attorney, and she's giving me the key tomorrow, so it was great.
All right, cool. Who is this, Aaron?
Sorry?
Who am I talking?
This is Ravi. This is Ravi in Austin, Texas.
Oh, Ravi. Oh, really? Cool. Good for you, man. Good. And how many were on your list, Ravi?
I had 93, and I'm about halfway. This one was about, I can tell you exactly, it was number 55 because I'll never forget that number now because it's my first one. But so I was halfway through the list.
Well, that's great. So about the phone numbers, I will say this: we're constantly testing and looking at different sources, and it's internet like big data phone numbers like the unicorn. Everyone's always you're chasing that, but so we're beta testing a couple of different sources right now that looks like our phone number accuracy is going to go up. So stay tuned for that. And you will get a number of bad numbers. I mean, my agent who's making the calls right now, we were talking about this morning. And for whatever reason, it varies from month to month, I guess, just like anything. So some months will have better numbers than other months. This month wasn't too good. I think out of, what did you say, Van, out of 80 phone calls, what would you say? 60% actually were active. So we are working on that, and hopefully in the next few months, we'll be able to get. We're always going to be working on getting better data for you guys. But I'm glad 55 was the one that was right, and that's why we always recommend a combination. So the direct mail paired with a phone call, and then you just kind of double your surface area.
Yep.
So. Well, guys, one of the things that we've talked about and we've been really has been a priority for us is working on the mailing services. A lot of people have had questions about mailings. If you look on the Facebook page, I just posted a letter that was from my latest mailing. So if you guys want to see what those actually look like live, there's a picture of the greeting card style envelope. That one's a white one. We also have cream colored and blue. But it's that and the letter that I'm using, and we send it all through. I send it all through Tim, the same person that does the mail for everybody. Our system will now tell you when your mail is sent. So when you upload the mail order, it will send on the day it's delivered. You'll get an email saying, "Hey, your mail has been sent, and expect to make phone calls in 3 days." That's going to continue to get better. We're almost ready to launch the new website, just probably, if not this week, early next week. So a lot of the members area and the mailing forms, a lot of stuff will be really cleaned up, and so user experience is going to be way, way, way better. So, but for any of you guys that are curious about what mail is being sent, if there's anybody new on the call, you can jump on the All the Leads Mastermind Facebook group, and you can see one of my letters that went out this week.
Chad, your envelope doesn't look like a number 10. What is the size of that envelope that you guys mail it in?
It's not a number 10. It's I think it's like you know, I don't even know. Let me compare it to a regular sheet of paper. So it would be 8.5 wide and probably 6 tall. So it looks like a 6 by 8.5.
Okay.
So it's basically exactly what you would pull from the card, you know, a Hallmark envelope that, you know, a card would come in. And then the two that Tim used on my latest mailing, one is like a really pale yellow or maybe an off-white, and the other is just the one that I uploaded was just a white envelope. So it will vary, and we kind of switched that up just at random. And so if you're sending the same person 3 pieces of mail, but anyways, a lot of people probably heard us talk about the handwritten, you know, the handwritten envelopes and things like that. You can see on that photo what our font looks like and what our letters look like. All right. Who else? Anybody have any wins for the week?
Hey, this is Diana Spears. I'm curious, when you mail out these letters, do you include business cards with them?
I don't, because I'm using a mailing service, and most mailing services, including ours, uses, you know, we do a mail merge and we have a stuffing printer. So the cost of that would be quite a bit. If you're doing the mail in house, I think it's a great touch. And it's, you know, you can pump out cards through Vistaprint at a nickel a piece. So I just include in my letter, I have basically all the information that's on my business card is in the footer or in the body. So I don't, you know, I get the same information in their hands, just not in the form of a business card. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Are you doing mail in house right now?
Yeah, I'm new, and I just got my first leads a couple weeks ago, and I'm just kind of struggling with the letter and sending it out, and you know, just have to be careful. And I'm in North Carolina, so just really have to be careful to make sure that anything I say I can back up. You know, like you know, there's certain what was it? We can sell it for 18% more. You know, I don't want to say anything misleading. And then somebody turn around and say, oh, well, she promised this, you know. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out the best way to word the options letter.
So that was a topic that came up on Facebook at some point this week. And it really, like, don't get lost in the details and don't feel like you have to use, you know, the letter that I use. I pull statistics all the time. I'm looking at stuff. What it's about is just, it's kind of the what's in it for me principle. So look at it and say, what's something that will differentiate me that's really going to stand out and say, wow, Diana's a little different. I've never really seen a realtor say something like that. And it doesn't have to be tied to a number or whoever brought the question up said, you know, I'm new in real estate. We can't really say all this stuff. What could I say? And it's really, think about, you know, from their mindset, what unique selling proposition or what brand promise can you offer that's really going to make you stand out in the event that you do have competition, or they've had a bad experience with the realtor, or they're comparing you to Aunt Sally, who's had a license for 77 years and just could list the house for 3%. So just think about what that is. And I don't know if you happen to sell your listings really quickly, or if your office, if you can pull off your broker's experience and just say, in our office we sell homes, you know, 40% below the market median.
Well, I mean, what do y'all think about going from the aspect of, I know what you're going through. I was the administrator for my uncle's estate, and boy, it was complex. I know what you're going through, kind of position. Like, I've been there, I've done it. I wished I'd have known then what I know now, kind of thing.
Yep. So when we in our coaching, and the first session is all about strategy. That's one of the first things that I try to get people to is what I call your probate USP, or unique selling proposition, and that's about a 40-second to a minute kind of elevator pitch of this is why I do this, how I do this, and what value I can provide to you. And I always tell people stories are so powerful, and if you have a personal story to tie to your why. I went through this, and I know how you felt found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was the realtor that helped me really made it easy, or the realtor that helped me made it a nightmare, and I saw a better way. And just develop that story into your probate USP, and speak from, if you're speaking from experience, it's just going to help you build rapport even quicker. Because they're going to be like, holy crap, this lady had a really stressful experience, and she designed a business around that to help other people through that situation that was so tough for her. Like, that's powerful. And then work that into your letter. Like, once you kind of get your USP in place of, and for me, it was, I helped a lady, if you're using my letter, that the quote, the testimonial in blue, was a lady that I helped to was out of town, and that was the kind of the deal that opened my eyes to the opportunity in the market. And I was like, my gosh, how many other people like her are there? That sure, she showed up on the expired listing list, but she had bigger problems than an expired listing. She had a house full of personal property, a mother in a nursing home, her father had died, and we went into the house that had expired out and pulled in a contractor, pulled in an estate company, did great photography, did a good job marketing, got multiple offers, and sold it for more than it expired for. And that kind of opened my eyes. So I used that story, and then as you start to develop this, it's like a snowball. You just get more and more and more stories that you can tell along the way, and fold those into your letters, turn them into testimonials, things like that. But I think if you can write that letter with a really personal touch of, hi, my name's Dan. I'm a realtor that specializes in helping executives and personal representatives, and here's why. I think you'll have a great response from that.
Now, for the coaching calls, do we get a coaching call, or do we need to sign up to pay for one? Or how does that work?
We do. What I've found is a lot of people, like we give pretty much everything away for free. So with the documents on the back end of the site and the Facebook page, everything's there. But a lot of folks, there is a learning curve. So we have what we call a jumpstart consultation, and I break it into 3 sessions. So we spend an hour on an hour on strategy, an hour on systems, and an hour on sales. And that it kind of gives you a week in between to get things in place, do your homework. It's all video recorded, so you can use it to reference back or refer back to or train your staff. So we can sign. That's kind of separate from your leads membership, because it's literally one-on-one time with me. When we kind of pull apart your business and say, how can we build this back in so it works and with everything else and is not a burden to what you're already doing, what's already working for you. So if you want to do that, we can talk offline and get signed up. We're a part of the new website. We'll have more details on that, but for now, it was kind of created out of necessity.
Follow-up question?
Yeah.
How do we schedule those sessions with you? What's the format for doing that? I just jumped on the call and heard what you're saying, and I definitely want to schedule that ASAP.
Okay. Well, if you guys are interested in a jump start, just email Chad@alltheleads.com.
Okay.
So CHAD@alltheleads.com, and just put something in the subject line like schedule jump start consultation, and we'll get you guys scheduled for those. And I think is Bill Bird? Are you on here, Bill? He must be on mute. We have some folks on the call that have done these, and I mean it's basically everything that I've learned in my business and developing the strategy. Just hands you everything. And I'd love to do it for everybody, but there's only so many hours in the day, so we try to.
Hey, Chad, it's Bill. Sorry.
Hey, so Bill.
Yeah, so we just finished our jump start. We're on our second list of prospects, and I've got to tell you that the jump start made it all very, very smooth, because you really do need to have the system ready to go when you get your first list, because if you're trying to get organized after your first list, it's too late, because things start happening very, very fast. Calls start coming in. You're making calls, and there's no way to track them. And what Chad really does is lay out why you're doing this and how to organize it. And I encourage everybody to make a diagram of how you do it, and make sure no matter how small the job is, it's delegated, because when those numbers come in, they've got to go out, and then the calls start coming in. And my assistant and I have moved through this very seamlessly, and it's been a really good experience. It was definitely worth every penny of $500.
Well, thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
So,
Chad?
anybody? Yes.
Oh, yeah. This is Tammy in Idaho at Agents with a Smile.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I just wanted to say, since I'm also very new, and I know that there's been a lot of talk about people who are new into it, I have to say, some of the percentages in our letter, we took the, so much percent over, the typical sales price out of our letter, and just said that we sell for the highest price in the shortest amount of time possible with our proven system. And that way, because I don't have anything to base it off of, we've talked about, I was just in real estate school in December, and I think that just having a team in place, like they were just talking about, having contractors, estate sale companies, and things like that, and being confident in knowing that you have people you can refer these people to, and just believing in what you're doing, people can tell your sincerity regardless of what stories that you have to tell them. They know whether you're genuinely sincere and believing in what you're doing and what you have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I've said it on a number of different calls. If there's any one gift I could give everyone who signs up, it would be confidence. And it's not that hard. I mean, I can give it, but you got to do some things. You need to get really clear on your why, get really clear on who your team members are, who's going to help you, and get really clear on what you offer. Like collectively, what's the how, and that Tammy did exactly that. I mean, Tammy, we talked for maybe 15 minutes. You didn't even do a jump start. And last time I spoke, you listed 7 houses, and off of two touches in the campaign.
Right.
So
right.
Don't get overwhelmed, guys. Like it's just if you can be confident that you, and one of the things I use with people, I say, in session 2, are you confident? Like, could you stand on the courthouse steps and give a speech as a real estate professional about probate? Like, would you feel confident doing that? If the answer is no, then get there. Get to the point where you feel like you could be cited in an article in the newspaper and say and feel good about that. Like, yes, I know more than any other realtor in town about this niche. This is my niche. And when you do that, magic happens, because people can tell, just like Tammy said, through the phone. People know, like if it just comes out, your energy is if you just exude confidence. When you do get that hard phone call of, why the hell did you send me a letter, blah blah blah, and just kill them with kindness. And I've had people call and just blast me. And once I really got that USP out there and they understood what I was doing, they're like, oh, wow, that's really great. That's, this is really tough. And you start talking, and then you find out they didn't want to sell the house to begin with. They just called to blast you because they didn't have anyone else to vent to. And I've turned those into great conversation. And it's exactly what Tammy said. So just, don't get lost in details, percentages, copy on the letters. Make it say whatever, make it personal to you and your business.
And we put in ours that we had partnered with local estate liquidation companies. Like, that was our kind of pitch, that we've partnered with companies to help take the burden off the family. And that's the angle that we've used with trying to, I mean, we use your same letter and just basically changed a few little things since we are new in probate, you know, to show them that we have a service we can offer. As a matter of fact, because of the sincerity that we're genuinely there to help them, you know, my angle is because I don't really have a personal story other than, you know, we understand that, you know, going through the probate process is very overwhelming, and that's why we have this in place, because we want to take that burden off the family and help them however they need help the best. And when people know that you're not there, even though you're a real estate agent, and they know you're not there just to sell their house, they genuinely appreciate that. And that's how we got our very first listing that has actually sold already, because we had all that in place. That's how we got the listing for it. And we've had other people from our letters and from our touches. We got a card that actually thanked us for the system that we have in place to help families. And even though the property was already gone in this probate, they have multiple family members who own property who are going to need the same type of services, that they definitely want to use us when that time comes.
Yeah, that's awesome, Tammy. Like that, and again, like a lot of people are worried about, well, the house already sold, or they didn't have a house to sell, or the probate didn't have real estate in it. So what? It's an opportunity to touch somebody who obviously is thinking about that. And who do they know? They might have a millionaire uncle that can say, oh, well, this realtor sent me this letter. I don't have anything, but here, you call, give her a call. So if you get blasted on the phone, or you know, are getting bad numbers, don't get discouraged, because who knows who's reading that and when they're going to call you. And we listed one this week. I don't even know what it was, from a couple of months ago, several letters back, and she finally called. You know, nobody had, not a word was said, and she finally called, and it's going to take, because of a health problem, it'll take us a while to get that one listed, but we've got it. They met with my agent Van and said, you know what, there's no other realtor in the world, basically, once they understood what value we could bring to the table. So, well, Tammy, I'm curious. So the last time we had you on, I'm glad you came back. Thanks for showing up. How many homes have you listed now on this?
Well, we're still right at the same number, but we have several people that we're in conversation with. So where we saw our greatest success, and this is where I guess I'm looking more big picture, in that where we got our greatest success is when we bought the previous 3 months from you. That's where we got our listings from. So I think that since a lot of the probate information that we have now is newer, that we're getting it on a monthly basis, I think that it's just going to be one of those situations that every month, you know, and every mailer and every touch, you're going to start seeing more people willing to have a conversation with you. So, for example, we have people from our March campaign that are just now reaching back out to us because they got our next letter, or they got our next voice cast. And so we're in conversation with them. You know, the probates are a little bit fresher on a lot of those, so we're kind of at the beginning stages, but we know for sure that we'll be getting those listings. So, so we haven't captured any more listings as far as that goes, but we're in conversation with people that I know we will. And I have no doubt that, like you're saying, you know, you're going to have people that, as long as you continue those touches and really utilize the system, you're going to have kind of a snowball effect if you have people from months back that are just now going to start contacting with you because you've kept that campaign rolling and stayed top of mind. And all of them remember the letter. They appreciate the services that we offer. They're just not quite ready to have that conversation yet. And so everybody's going to grieve at a different pace. So I think that it's just one of those that I think that people shouldn't get discouraged, because I think this is a very big picture campaign that you really have to look at, you know, kind of a bigger picture, and knowing that each month that goes by, if you keep those campaigns going, you're going to get listings off of that, as long as you're diligent and you follow
Tammy,
the campaign that you have set up.
Tammy, what did you mail to the people for the second mailing? What letter did you use? Did you use the same options letter and just send it out to them again, or did you change something?
No, I used exactly the letters that Chad has on there. It's I think it's actually titled Letter 2. If you email me, I'll send you the exact letters we use for Letter 1, Letter 2, and Letter 3. But for letter
you
2,
didn't use
it's
the
Chad's.
option letter.
So the options letter is what we use for our first one, and that's basically, telling them that we can either list and sell the property on the open market with our proven system. We've partnered with local estate liquidation companies. It's Chad's letter where you're introducing yourself, and then it gave like 4 options that, we have cash buyers we work with, we have estate liquidation companies we work with, or we can list it on the traditional market. That's our options letter that we use. It's basically Chad's exact letter just with our personal information on it. And the same thing for letter 2. It's the one that there's a box and it has bold writing in the middle of it. I think, Chad, is that one actually labeled letter 2 on your Facebook?
Yeah.
I genuinely just copied Chad's campaign because I have no experience. So I just copied his campaign and went with it. So if he said, send another letter on day 30, I sent another letter on day 30. And we've had great success by just following exactly what the campaign stated to do.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I am literally brand new. I just signed up earlier this week, so I don't even have access to the website yet. I mean, the credit card charge just went through, and they sent me a link for this. I assume, Chad, all this information is up on the website or on Facebook. How do we access it? And, oh, by the way, this is Campbell Haig. I already sent you the email for the Jumpstart.
Okay. Have you been to the Facebook page? Have we given you?
I've not been to anything. Like I said, I literally just signed up, my friend, and we're cranking right now in real estate. We're just trying to add another leg to our stool right now. It's not like we're not doing stuff. We've been in business for a year and a half. We did $7 million in sales our first year, and this year we're shooting for getting over $35 million in sales, and we're on track for it right now.
Look at you. Good for you, man.
So we're rocking down here in Atlanta. We're just trying to add something to the business because I know that come out of season that things are going to slow down, and I just want to keep the listings going because I see it as a year-round business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only getting stronger as the population increases. This gets stronger and stronger. So I'm going to add you. I'm adding you to. I've already added you to the Facebook group. The best thing I can tell you, and anyone who hasn't done this, go to the Facebook group, and there's a pinned post that always stays on top, and that is a link to a YouTube playlist for fast track videos. It will show you how to the moment you signed up, you got an email from us with your login. There's some email filters are sensitive and it ends up in spam. So from figuring out how to get your login info to what to do first to what the resources available to you are, everything is in that playlist. So I would say go there today and watch those videos. The Facebook Mastermind group I love it because it's like more and more people are engaging every day. There's, I've got pictures of my letters on there. All these calls are recorded on there. There's role play calls that I've done with my agents. So, go in there and look around, ask around. If you have questions, ask. People are great about, stepping up and saying, well, here's what works for me, or here's a great idea. So as a first step, that's what I would say. Go there, watch those videos, and kind of look back through the history of the last few months of what everybody has shared.
I'm curious, is there a way, or maybe the information's on the Facebook page, for the letters, is there a way to grab the names and insert them in the letters automatically versus going through each name line by line and changing the letter and printing it?
Yeah. Are you doing your own mailing?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first step is to stop doing that. I get it. Everybody's on a different budget. If you want to do it yourself, you can. Microsoft has if you go to YouTube, there's a wealth of videos. What you're looking for is instructions on how to do a mail merge from Microsoft Excel to Microsoft Word. And once you learn how to do it, it's pretty simple. For the first time, it can seem kind of daunting, but you're basically going to create merge fields. So you take the field from a spreadsheet and put it in the field in a Word document. If you use our mailing services, we do all the mail merge for you, so you don't really have to worry about it. So in those letters, you'll see brackets where it says PR first name or PR deceased last known address. those are the mail merge fields, and you're just going to map those from Excel. So I would say go to YouTube and teach yourself, or do yourself a favor and find somebody else to do it, and whether that's us or anyone else. I posted this morning that post with my letter. I kind of put some verbiage in there. I did mail in-house for 3 months, and I didn't have any hair to begin with, but if I did, I would have pulled it out. Like, it becomes, on month 3, with 3 letters and 3 lists, you end up having 9 different letters that you're tracking and getting out. And when you're listing, 2 or 3 houses a week, it's just not, it stuff starts to fall through the cracks. And what Bill was saying about systems and what we teach in the Jumpstart is we teach you to automate as much of this as possible. For me personally, my goal is to have inbound calls, not have to prospect 12 hours a day.
So that Google Sheets is a probate CRM. Is that real helpful in keeping you on track with tracking the letters for each campaign or each month of leads?
Yeah, and I made that video for the folks that really don't have a database in their business.
Right.
It's kind of it's a temporary fix, I would say. If you don't have a true database in your business, I would look to do that, sooner than later. I wouldn't, that's something that in itself can take weeks and weeks to choose the right one, get it set up and things like that. So I wouldn't wait. The Google Sheet is a really good way to get started. The great thing about that, and the reason I set it up that way, we can always take that Google Sheet and just do a lead import straight into whatever CRM you choose. But yeah, that video will show you how I set it up and how it can be used for probate.
Hey, Chad, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Oh, we had a great call.
I got to figure out how to talk on 2 conference calls at the same time. I don't know how that happened. I apologize, guys. Who was our winner of the week with the best success story?
We had a couple. Ravi gave us a story, and Tammy showed up again. She had some great input today.
Awesome. So, all right. So, should we give them both a call, or do you want to pick one of them?
I owe Tammy one for sure, and I'll give Ravi a call too.
Ravi, your prize of the week. We said last week you either win a brand new Mercedes or a coaching call with Chad, but it's up to us.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm kind of biased because it's me, but a Mercedes depreciates in value. Coaching lasts forever.
So you get a free coaching call with Chad. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we good, Chad? Are we good to go, guys? Anything else?
Tammy, I had a question for you.
Oh, sure.
This
Go ahead.
Diane. I wanted to ask you, are you using your own mailing, or are you using their mailing house to mail?
I do it in-house for our mailings, and so we have a little bit of a different approach. So what we do is I do the inside sales here in our office, and so what I'm doing is we have 2 listing specialists, and one of them is our managing partner, and so we're trying to build his side of the business because our primary team leader, she works with a lot of local construction companies, and basically to get to those contractors you have to call us. And so we're building his side of it. And so what I've been doing is I'm building his brand. So his letters, so all the letters have his name on it, and then I have him record voice casts and send those out so that they think they're getting calls from him. And so we get the inbound calls from that. And then they receive personal calls from me in between there. But I do the mailers in-house, and I basically utilize my teenagers. So when I know I have letters to send, they stop by the office after school. They're here for a couple hours. They stuff envelopes for me. I have them printed. And they stop by the office for a couple hours, and we get them sent out. So I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I like to see everything in front of me and know what went out so that I know when my next voice casts go out or when my next phone calls go out. So I have done it in-house so far. However, I can see that being a few months into it, these letters definitely snowball. So I don't know how many leads you get in your market, but our market, we have, like 50 to 60 leads a month. So it's a little bit more manageable than people who are getting hundreds of leads every month. So I would definitely say if you're getting a lot of leads, I would recommend using the mail house because it's a lot. It stacks up very quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
How much? So you pay for mail and ice cream, right? Or movie tickets?
I pay for all their sports. My daughter's a traveling competitive dancer, so I just use the analogy she owes me. So, so they just stop by because I told them to. So we travel almost every weekend for somewhere she's got to dance, so she has no problem in helping Mom out when she needs to. So.
And by the way, Tammy, that call you were going to be on it too. I just did it, but I mentioned you. I told them you are my favorite testimonial to date. When you said you've only been in business a couple months and you just did what we told you. So thank you for.
Oh gosh, absolutely. Wait, did I miss that? I thought that was at noon my time.
It was supposed to be, and I don't know what happened. But 5 minutes into this call, I got a text that they changed the time and didn't tell me, or I'm not sure what happened, but that's okay.
Oh.
Thank you, but I told your story for you. Thank you for
perfect.
Thank you for showing up on this one, and thanks for contributing.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say too, for people who are getting the inbound calls, I use Vulcan 7 for my leads to come into. So an easy way to kind of sort through who they are and what they're calling about, I just ask them, can you please give me the number that I left the message on? And when you type it into Vulcan, it'll bring up the lead that you called them for. So it's just an easy way rather than sorting through the names or either the personal representative name or the deceased name. If they can just give you the phone number that you left the voicemail on, it's an easy way to pull up the contact information.
Perfect.
If anybody's using Vulcan, you just reminded me that, that's just kind of a nice tool to, when you start getting multiple campaigns going, sometimes it's hard to figure out, was that, what month campaign that was from. So it's an easy way to really sort and track who's calling you back and who hasn't called back and who's already sold.
You know what? I can't guess it.
Chad, can I get your email, please, for a Jumpstart meeting?
Yeah, it's Chad at allleads.com.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
And Tammy, do you mind sharing your email?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's Tammy, it's TAMI,
Okay.
at agentswithasmile.com.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. If anybody wants copies of our letters or voice cast information, we don't mind sharing that. I've sent that out to a few people, so.
Chad, I think you have a potential assistant coach in Tammy.
Yeah.
I mean it. Thank you so much for your contribution. Guys, I think we try to keep these calls at 30 minutes, and we've already gone 45. Again, my apologies for missing part of it. It sounds like it was a great call. It'll be posted in about an hour on our Facebook page, so I'll listen to it there, and I hope y'all show up next week with some incredible wins. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.